In this modern age, cities have become more bustling with sounds of cars, and the population has grown larger in the last century. Here in Calamba City, in the Philippines, only a few building towers over the skyline, and it mostly consists of subdivisions of homes made from concrete. Yet, near an old church lies one of the most important houses in Philippine history, that being the Rizal Shrine, or also called the House of Dr. Jose Rizal. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this new video on another historical place that I was able to visit during my free time. And I am pleased to tell you that it's none other than the famous Rizal Shrine. This place is famous. It's a famous tourist spot and a historical landmark for the country, as it was owned by Dr. Jose Rizal's family and where the national hero spends most of his early years. So let's get to it as I explain its significance as well as some comments on my visit about it. As you can see on the clips that I gathered and some pics that I took and found in the internet, the House of Rizal, also known as Calamba Rizal Shrine, isn't just any normal house, but it's one of the known structures called Bahay na Bato, literally meaning house made of rock, which is the common house built for middle class and high class people during the Spanish colonial period. And the first floor of such houses have walls made of stone or brick, while the second floor is mostly made of wood with the iconic Capiz windows made from seashells, and then a roof composed of clay tiles. My first impression of the house was that it's very big. Even I would consider it as a mansion when compared to my humble home. And outside the first floor entrance was a small chamber that housed an old Calesa carriage, which is actually a horse-drawn carriage that's famous here in the Philippines. And there was also a wishing well with a bucket that actually has that's connected to a rope that you can take to the second floor. So that's amazing. Once you enter the first floor, you can see that it has two small rooms to the right of the entrance. Once you enter, then you look to your right. Uh, there are history on Rizal's family members, as well as to the far back. There's models of uh, statuettes of Rizal and his mother, who's reading a storybook to him, which I think is about the moth and flame, which is a famous story that delves into Rizal, since just like the moth, he went closer to proving the Spanish corruption, which is the flame, and just like the moth that burned because he was too close to the flame, Rizal also died trying to prove to the trying to show that the Filipinos are being oppressed and facing hardship under Spanish corruption. Anyway, on the left floor is a massive roof, which the entrance actually opens up, where which has two windows, which is looking up to the main road, that which is actually the street is actually named JP Rizal, so that's a very nice touch. And there's also a large double door entrance leading to main road outside. And in this room are more exhibits and artifacts of the Rizal family, as well as story of Rizal's childhood. Then we can go up to the grand staircase to the second floor. The second floor includes the sleeping quarters and the kitchen of the house, where if you go to the room near the main road, or should I say, if you go to the north of the building, uh, just to the large hall near the road, which is just basically a living room also or sorts. You'll see two rooms on the left and right. On the right side, there's the ladies' room where Rizal's sisters, since most of his siblings were sisters, slept together. Then on the left side, we have the boys' room where Pasiano, which is his only brother, and Jose slept there. Also, their room actually opens up to another room, which is the parents' room, where both of Rizal's parents slept. Rizal and his family probably ate in the large table. When you go up the staircase, there's already a large room there. This is probably their dining table. You can even see cabinets of probably of their previous dining wares, like like plates, drinking glasses, and that's really nice because you can really see the history within these walls. Furthermore, if you continue to the exit, as you exit the dining room, to the back is the kitchen, where there's another table. That's probably where they prepare the food, and also there's also a stove in the very back. Some props of old pans, some cooking tools and such, and then you can actually go outside from this from the kitchen. As you go out, you can enter an open area called an azotea, which is basically a large balcony for me with some roof. Actually, based on the subject that I learned from Rizal, he actually this is where actually he, let's say, listened to some, is it horror stories, I think, or some stories that looks into Philippine mythology. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering that right, but I think I learned this in my Rizal subject. So yeah, with that, the house tour ends as you can finally go down the stairs. That is facing to the south basically going down to the small park behind the main house, which looks amazing. And when you look out one of the windows of the rooms in the second floor, showing how spectacular and beautiful the place is. The park can be found at the very back of the house and has lush greenery with large trees, I think they're Nara trees, being found in its many corners. Its monuments include the statue of Jose Rizal when he was a child, and you may not see it in the picture that I took, but there's also a statue of his dog. I forgot his name though, but it is a very known thing that his dog was the very first listener to the young Jose Rizal when it comes to his opinions on Spain's political issues and corruption in the Philippines. They say that his dog was the first one who listened to his ideas and opinions. I don't know if that's true, but it's very nice to know that even when he was a child, he was already, that very aware and smart of such things. There's also the small nipa hut found in the center, probably a stand-in for its historic version. Since and also wait, let me hold that thought. There's also this green wall or garden that can be found on the farthest wall, southwest wall, and then the atmosphere of the park was very peaceful and very nice, even though there are many people also wondering about. It keeps you thinking if Rizal when he was a child would play in his home's open yard, which is basically, I think this is it. This is just, I think it's not the yard, it's more of a garden. I don't know. I get confused by the two meanings. Anyway, it keeps you thinking if Rizal when he was a child would play around here. And Rizal wrote fondly. If I remembered in my Rizal subject again, he wrote fondly that in his nipa hut in their garden back in his time, it was his personal place where he could sculpt and sleep during his childhood days. And did you know that one of the early sculpt that he did based on passed down stories from his sisters, that he actually sculpted a Napoleon statue? So yeah, that's very nice. And his sisters actually laughed at him because he's sculpting something and he's just a child, and he was probably the youngest at that time, I think. I know he's not the youngest of the family, but maybe during the story, I don't know. It's that his sisters laughed at him because they teased him a lot and he said, "Don't laugh at me. People will make big statues of me in the future." And he really, it really came true. I mean, we celebrate him as a national hero, and yeah. In addition, near the Nara tree, which is located by the road, is the place where Rizal parents Francisco Mercado and Theodore Alonso are buried, with a plaque on the groundmark name. Unfortunately, I was not able, so I'll just look for the internet if there's one, and I'll probably just display it on the screen. On the other hand, the building that stretches in an L shape from the very back of the property to the entrance of the Rizal Shrine serves as an extension museum where clothing, items, and art of Rizal are located. Most of the things can be found in the tail end of the building, where you can also see information and history of Rizal when he was an adult through his writings such as El Filibus Turismo and El Limitang Pere. There are also sculpture statues of him, as well as including his own sculpture work, I think, or I don't know if it's a reproduction. I did read the plaque. Sorry, it's the statue called a sculpture that's called Victory of Science over Death and more, especially item engravings of him on the money like the 1 peso coin and even awards to pay respect to him as a national hero and achiever of many things when he was alive. If you want to buy things that is related to Rizal, you can go to the gift shop near the entrance of Rizal's line, while another room between the museum and the gift shop, a small gallery of a painting, I forgot his name, of a local paper if you enjoy it. Now that I've discussed the parts of the Rizal Shrine where I was able to explore it, let's now look at to its history, significance, and my personal experience. To keep it short and simple, the original ancestral house that Rizal's father saved and built for his family for 2 years was confiscated in 1891 due to their suspicions. Due to the Spanish government's already suspicions of Rizal, thinking he was a revolutionary and he will cause a great uprising in the Philippines. It will later be occupied again by his brother Pashan Rizal during the Philippine Revolution, though at this time Rizal has already died. And past 3 decades during World War II, the house has suffered damage and was demolished afterwards. Yet it was bought by the Philippine government, luckily, again after the war. Then, in 1949, President Elpidio Carino passed the Executive Order Number 145 for the house reconstruction, and Juan F. Nakapil, a renowned Filipino architect, served as the project supervising architect. It's important to include that the project's funding came from the citizens and Filipino school children, and it was later finished and inaugurated in 1950. To this day, it's now considered a National Shrine Level 1 as designated by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Now, it's time to express my own personal experience and opinion of the place. I cannot position it to nothing more than a revered and special place for Filipinos, as the building structure serves as a reminder of the Spanish period and a bygone era, sorry, that has passed. On the other hand, the thing that it gives its national significance is value of bringing light to the childhood of national hero, because you can actually see his history, based on the placards that are put on the wall, and how how ideas of independence and nationality to the country under the corruption of Spanish rule. I can say probably that many people in the old and present generation will know who Rizal is. So if you're a foreigner, ask them, and they will. I'm confident that they will speak fondly and tell a few parts of his history and his history based on what they learned. This is why the Rizal Shrine is an important place for the Philippines. It will give our for future generation as well as to foreigners to look back on who and how Rizal grew up from when he was a child all the way when he was an adult until finally his death. This gives Filipinos a sense of national pride and inspiration to, I think, dedicate our lives to and uphold the ideals of the Philippines, as Rizal gave his life for such a dream of independence, and he believed as one of his famous saying that the children are the future of the nation. Anyways, to get back to my own experience, I was able to visit Rizal Shrine because I was doing it for a project on a subject all about Rizal, which is actually a required course created by the Philippine government and I think it's passed already as a law years ago, that to show awareness on Rizal history and boost nationalism in the country. The project the reconstruction plan is all about visiting. Oh wait, no. The project that I did was all about visiting monument dedicated to Rizal, and we decided to go to the Calamba shrine because it's the nearest, and we were also tasked to do interviews to locals in the area, which luckily were students of, so they were already knowledgeable that the importance of the Rizal shrine. I also like to give credit to my group mates who helped in creating the video for such subjects. Cheers to them. You can see them in the video. And there's some clips here that you can see that same people I am around it. Those are my group mates. They're all boys because we come from an engineering student. If you ever like to visit the Rizal Shrine, you can visit in Calamba, Laguna. It's located in the legit by Rizal Street, which is another homage to our to the country's national hero. I promise you that you'll enjoy the experience. And reading Rizal history in the small museum here, even though it's small, you should remember that it's a place of national significance and pride. Now, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching for this late upload again. College got busy, and I'm an engineering student who makes life a lot busier. Got locked in all the time. Especially when the exam hits the table and you're like, fuck, there's like exam next week, need to lock in. But I hope to upload in the following month soon, even though I'll probably return to school because at the moment I have a term break, but that's already like 2 weeks on only. Then after that I'll have to go back to college again. Anyway, that's everything I have to say for this results shrine video. I was supposed to also detail results live, but I was only inputting small parts, but I didn't want to make this video too long, because I'm not that yet free from the college, from my college year, this year, sophomore year. I think it's really called second years. Anyway, but yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.